Hey, everybody.
Welcome back to our podcast where we agree
To disagree.
on a lot of different things.
And today's topic is
What is success? Which I feel like we'll probably agree on.
yeah, for sure.
Actually, I don't know what you're going to say, so maybe maybe not. So we'll be diving into what we think success is, reaching success, whatever that means at an early age, and what areas we want to be successful in, and more. So I think why don't we just start? If you had to define success, what would you say it is?
I feel like defining success is accomplishing something that you worked really hard for.
Hey, that's pretty good. I like that.
I mean, that's success to me but I feel like there's a lot of different ways to define success, but
I would just say it's achieving your goals
yeah.
because success can be different for a lot of people and everyone has different goals. According to the internet, the definition
Kind
of
of
success.
stresses me out thinking of what is
Why?
success. What is success? I don't know, because I just feel like, again, there's so many.
Well, I think it's a good thing to talk about because when we think of it or when you think of success, like the first thing that comes to your mind, it's probably, I don't know, like a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
really happy, good job.
Nice house.
Yeah, big
Nice
house.
car.
Yeah, but really, I think it's just everyone has a different measure of success. But what I was going to say is, according to the internet, the definition of success is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. So we were pretty close. Um, Here are some facts we found interesting. Nearly 72% of people who consider themselves successful attribute their success to specific habits they've developed over time.
And a study of over 500 CEOs found that most started their first businesses before the age of 35.
Which 35 still sounds kind of old to me, but
I know, because I feel like these days people are like starting in their early 20s, you know?
mm-hmm.
But I guess by 35 makes sense.
92% of people give up on their goals. So if you're feeling motivated, you're already ahead of the majority. That's crazy. 92% of people give up on their goals. I feel
I
like we talked.
didn't.
That's true.
That's pretty cool.
I feel like we talked about this when we did the New Year's resolution episode. But yeah, that's crazy. 92%.
Well, I actually did give up on my goal for a little. So then I went to college. I mean,
And
that was
that's
still a
not
goal.
giving up.
I know, but the Olympics was always my goal. I know I didn't. I guess I
Oh.
didn't give up. I mean, I did because I didn't make it, and then I was like, gave up, went to college, and then.
I wouldn't call going to college giving up. You
No,
just
I
did
know.
something else.
I don't think college is giving
You
up.
just took a break.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I would be interested to find out why, though. So why do so many people give up on their goals? Is it because they set unrealistic goals, or is it because they just didn't have the determination or
kinda
the
like
grit to finish, to
New
follow
Year's
through?
resolutions, like you set all these goals, and then I feel like 2 months in, you kind of forget about the goals and give up. Like I had a lot of goals, and I don't think I've done any of them.
Do you know what they were? Did you
Well,
write them down?
No.
See, well, that's the next stat. People who write down their goals are 33% more likely to achieve them than those who don't. And that surprises me because I would have thought it'd be higher. Because I feel like writing down your goals, it should like double your success rate because otherwise you forget, right? Which is,
Yeah, but
I'm
I feel like I
sure.
write stuff down all the time, and I still don't get to it right away either.
Yeah, but at least you don't completely forget. If you write it down, it exists
It's true.
somewhere. If you don't write it down, it's just kind of in your brain one day and then you forget about it and it's gone.
I mean, mine was, well, one, to get pregnant, so I did that one.
You did that one. That's
And
right.
two, to bring back YouTube, which we've done, but we haven't done a video in a hot second, so we need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And to work out. That hasn't happened, but I can't really.
Yeah, well, you've done what you could.
Yeah. There was a couple other things, but I wanted to do more like social media stuff, but I also feel like that's kind of, I mean, like I have, but I haven't been like that good about it either. or just like be more present on social media or post more. And it's hard to like get ready and like post or try to capture moments. It's like just stressful.
You do pretty good at it, though.
Yeah, but like I'd like people post at least like once a day. I post like once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, but when you do post, you post like a million things, so it makes up for it.
I do.
Yeah, because you get in like your posting moods.
I'm
Like
talking about like
today.
no, I'm talking about like on my feed, not just my
Oh,
story.
oh, well, I don't know. I feel like you do a
Anyway,
good job.
there was
Anyways,
other stuff, but I don't remember.
the vast majority of wealthy people became wealthy through their hard work. Less than 5% inherited their money.
That's what I feel like too. Like if you come from money, I feel like you kind of end up kind of successful.
That's not what this says.
Oh, what did it say?
I mean, that could be, but it says less than 5% inherited their money.
Oh.
I mean, if you come from money, though, then you probably have if you come from money, you definitely have like good mentors in your corner that can
Mhm.
help you. Hey,
But
this
I
is how
feel
I made
like
my money. This is how I saw success. You can do the same
but I feel like
thing.
I personally have known a lot of people that have come from money or their parents have big family jobs and then they end up like working for the family company or taking it over or
Yeah, I
they have
guess
lots of money and they kind of just
that might be different from inheriting money, but that is true. That is a good deal when that happens.
anyway, sorry, I guess I
No, you're
wasn't paying
good.
attention well enough.
No, that's a
No.
good point. Only 4% of people who don't achieve success blame their lack of ability. This means that the vast majority of people who don't achieve success believe that they could have done more if they had just worked a little harder.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You do?
Yeah, I feel like if you work hard, you can be successful at whatever you want to be successful at if you work hard enough.
I agree.
If you don't work really hard, then you're not really going to get
Except,
anywhere.
I mean, there are certain things though, like no matter how hard I work, I'm never gonna be an Olympic gymnast. You know, like I could work
I don't
harder.
know. You never
No, like
know. I
that's
know.
just, like I could be the hardest working person in the world, but there's some things that just, but for the majority, I would agree. It's it's hard work, not really ability, because you can learn that. You agree?
I agree. Yeah.
You've been pretty silent so far.
Yeah, I don't know. This is like,
Okay, well, I have a question for you. When you got to the Olympics, did you view that as being successful? Or what was success for you?
heck yeah.
Well, but at what point? Was it making the national team after coming back? Was that success for you? Was it making the world's
I
team?
mean, I think kind of every chapter was success. Like, even just being younger, like the first step was making the national team, and that was success. And then trying to get to an international competition. So, like, I competed in Glasgow World Cup and in Italy and Worlds, and like all those were success. I mean, sometimes I would say like making Worlds and like becoming like the alternate and like the Olympics being an alternate didn't really feel like success to me, even though that's like still a pretty big deal, even though you're an alternate, you know? But because that wasn't success to me, it made me go back and work harder so I could achieve what I thought was success, which was actually making the team, making the Olympics. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like each step through the process, I had lots of successes and wins and victories. And
That's
so
a good way of putting it.
I would say throughout my career, I had a lot of good achievements. So I wouldn't say just like making the Olympics was like my only success, you know?
Mm-hmm. Lots of little wins.
Yeah, I had lots of successes. And even like graduating school, that was a success, you know? Like, I never thought I would do it, and I did
That
it.
was almost a bigger success.
I know. So, what about you? What would you say your successful
um,
moments were?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, kind of like what I said at the beginning. I think success is just hitting the goals that you set, and so
And I feel like you've done that a lot since we've been
Um,
married.
yeah, I try to. I feel like for the most part, I've been able to.
Jonas is really good at making goals, setting goals, achieving his goals.
I do like goals.
Yeah, Jonas really likes goals and goal setting.
It's a proven thing. It works. But I mean, my biggest goals for the longest time was like I wanted to find a career, which I believe I've found. Um, I mean, getting married was eventually a goal of mine. It wasn't a goal to get married that soon, but it happened.
Hmm.
So I had that goal. Same thing with having kids. I don't know about always, but I think I've wanted to have kids eventually, and now we're having kids.
Hmm.
I think that's like really the most important part of life is just having a family and being happy and being able to support the family. Everything else is extra.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. I have some other goals, but it's hard too because I like setting big goals, but like the really good goals, those ones are kind of hard to hit. And so you have to find the line between being okay with not hitting those goals, but also still stretching
Hmm.
yourself.
And I feel like even if you don't hit those goals, you're still a successful person. You know, like when I didn't make the Olympics the first time, like it sucked. Yeah, that like was a big goal of mine, but I still had so much of my life going for me and so many more things to look forward to that I was able to have success in different ways even though I didn't complete, that goal, and had
Yeah.
success in it. Like there's still so much more. Like sometimes I feel like people get so stuck on something and then if it doesn't go their way or that's not the path that they thought they were going to go, they just like I feel like life's over.
Mhm.
But like life can take you in so many directions and you're always going to find a way to get to where you need to be.
Yeah, I feel like too often we think that success is one dimensional.
Mhm.
Like I get the medal at the Olympics or I don't, or I make the Olympic team or I don't. Or like with work, I make a lot of money or I don't. But one thing I've had to learn lately is there's it's multidimensional, kind of like you said, like you had a million different little successes leading up. Like me for work, I feel like just being at my current job is a success for me. I I've had previous jobs where I've made more money than I'm making right now, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I do,
Mhm.
and so it's like,
That's
and
a success right there
yeah,
because you
and
get to
so,
enjoy it. Actually enjoy
but,
your job too.
but that's something I've had to think about a lot because like growing up and especially kind of when I was just starting college and, really young and hungry. And when I just kind of started working, it was just like make more money, like that's success, like being able to buy things and whatnot. But lately, I've had to realize because I stepped away from the job where I made the most money, where I have I don't know other priorities like being able to be home all the time and not travel for work nonstop.
Yeah, there's a lot Jonas and
And
I had
like,
to talk about with his new job. And it
yeah,
was like looking at the big picture, it was like hard because like he could have made a ton of money if he stuck with Vivint.
I think those were good conversations for us to have though because it helped us realize what's most important, like what is
Right. Like
success.
I was,
And in the end, we ended up choosing like lifestyle,
right.
so like me being able to like live here, I can work from home. My schedule's flexible. The office is 5 minutes away. It's a cool job. There's room for growth. It's something I like doing,
Right.
over just this job pays me the most
Right.
money.
And I've, it's hard because I like to spend money. So sometimes I'm like, yeah, that would have been nice to, if Jonas was making more money. But at the same time, I'm like, money doesn't buy you happiness or bring you happiness always. Some like little things do. But I was just kind of like, it's more important to me to be with my husband more and not have that summer sales lifestyle where you're gone all summer and we have to go travel every summer because once our kids start getting bigger, I was just like, that is not what I want. And I feel like I'd rather enjoy life, have a decent amount of money to live and do things than have too much of it. So
Yeah, no, I agree. During the Olympics or, like leading up to it or after, did you think that that would set you up financially? Or did you ever think about that as part of your like gymnastics career journey? Did you ever think about
I've always thought of that. But then like I remember my mom, we had sat down and talked to a couple of agents like back in like before 2016 Olympics and just asked like what are like some options I can think about, cuz I was thinking about, going to school, do I pursue and keep training for the next Olympics? Like what do I want to do, this and that? And like, a lot of it came down to cuz like in gymnastics like there is money in it, but it's like unless you're like number 1 or number 2, it's really not like I wouldn't say I'm set for life. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I mean, I used to think, and I can't remember when
I
I
used to think
realized, but
Olympic athletes were like set for life.
right,
Like it's like
that's
a
what
it's
I
like a
always
movie
thought.
star or an
Yeah,
actor, like a famous person, like you think all these Olympians like sit there and like rank in the dough, but there's only a certain amount of athletes that actually like are set for life, I feel like, that
yeah,
really make it.
and it's a very, very small number.
Yeah.
Especially because there's a lot of athletes, like a lot of Olympians that play sports that aren't as big as gymnastics or aren't as watched. And, if you don't have a huge following, then
Well, yeah, if you don't
it's
stay
just kind of
relevant,
hard to make money.
yeah, you don't stay relevant, and the Olympics is every 4 years. And like, think about like us. The Olympics now is 3 years because we got cut a year short, which is fine. Like, I'm living life, I'm thriving, I'm having fun. But it is kind of crazy because then like usually every 4 years there's a new cycle, and so it's kind of like if you don't stay relevant, through at least social media or some sort of way, I feel like you kind of just like the next quad comes in and it's all about them.
Yeah.
So I feel like the athletes just kind of rotate through and you kind of get your moment and you work so hard and you get to have that glory moment, and then you just kind of got to like figure out life. It's like when you graduate college, it's like, well, got to figure out life now, like living on my own, got to pay for bills and got to grow up. So it's kind of wild.
Do you ever feel like, how can I top being an Olympian?
No,
I
I feel like it's pretty freaking cool. I
so
don't
you
think
don't even
anything
worry
can
about
top
it.
that. No.
I think about it for myself because, like, for example, so you did the fireside, so you had that speaking
Mhm.
engagement on Sunday, and we talked to a lot of people afterwards, and I was just kind of hanging out, like waiting for Mykayla to get done, talking to people, but some people would come up and talk to me as well. And I had these people, they're like, I forget how exactly went, but they're like, "You're an athlete too, right? Like you're both athletes." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "We're not both athletes, like she went to the Olympics, like I play sports, but I feel uncomfortable when people try and like group us in the same,
I
like, "Oh yeah,
know.
like you two
Or
athletes." I'm
like
like,
he was a college athlete, right? Or is he like in
yeah,
the
people just
NBA
assume,
or
yeah.
you
And
know?
I'm like, and then later it came up in that conversation, someone else mentioned, "Oh, like you do American Ninja Warrior." And they're like, "Oh, well, you should have mentioned that." I'm like, "Okay, even if I won like every season of American Ninja Warrior, that's still not like an Olympic medal." So it's just
Still really
I'm
cool, but
yeah, so I'm very aware that like it's there's nothing that I can do really to top that, which I'm fine with. But I've thought like how much that feel for you, because that's a huge deal. And so
right,
you
especially
have to
to
have a
achieve like an accomplishment like that at such a young age too, and then like retiring, like
mhm.
that's weird to think about. Like what would I top? Like you can't really top much after that.
Yeah. And so, I mean, and that's why I think you have a good mindset about it, because you can't really top that as far as athletics go. But
Mhm.
like you being a mom, you're like more excited to be a mom than you were to go to the Olympics,
Mhm.
right? Like you're more excited to have kids, and that's just that's the most important thing,
Mhm.
right? And so, yeah, so I'm not surprised it doesn't really bug
Yeah,
you or
like I
weigh
feel
on
like
your mind too
yeah,
much.
like I'm fine. Like I'm not. I don't feel like I've gone into like a deep hole of depression being done with gymnastics, which has been nice.
Yeah, that is good. Is it hard to have been successful at an early age?
I don't think so. I mean, I think I think like social media wise, yeah, just with people, attacking you and being in the public eye like that for sure is like I think it's hard at a young age being like put into the world like that for sure.
Hmm.
But I mean, other than that, I feel like I didn't really seem didn't really seem like that to me. I just felt like I was just doing my thing, going out there doing what I love, doing my thing, and I just kept pulling along, you know? So like I don't really feel, I don't know, I never really felt like I was like famous, you know, like
Yeah.
or a celebrity. Like I don't know, like it's just weird. Like even when I met, like when I was younger, yes, I fantasized over people and like, you know, I had my role models and people that I inspired to be like. And then like once I kind of started meeting like Olympians and kind of other famous people, I didn't really have like I didn't like fantasize over people anymore because I was kind of like once you get to know them,
Like, oh, they're just real
I'm like,
people.
yeah, we're just real people. Like, I wouldn't think you're any better than me. Like, yeah, you might be better at sports than me, or you might have won more medals than me, or whatever. But like, I don't think that I'm any less than you of a person, you know? So I don't know. I didn't really feel that way at a young age. So it didn't really like affect me, I feel like.
Yeah. And again, it's all relative too, because I don't know. I still feel like we have a long ways to go, like as far as my like career, like financial goals and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. But I also have people tell me like, oh, you're so lucky that, you guys are where you are at your age,
Mm-hmm.
which I do appreciate, but me, it's hard for me to not feel like I'm always just trying to catch up, because I have such high goals, especially because, I mean, going back to like financial stuff, like I'm making less money than I used to. So it's hard. So I don't know. I would say success at an early age, however you define success, I think it always helps to be successful because then it sets you up for the
Mm-hmm.
rest of your life. But it's all relative because different people view success in different ways. Even kind of like you mentioned, like being famous, a lot of people see that as success, but it's also kind of annoying. Like
Mm-hmm.
I would see what's more successful is being like having all the perks of being famous without being famous,
Well, yeah,
like,
right. I was talking with your sister over the weekend, and I'm going to the Taylor Swift concert, and I like love Taylor Swift, right? Love her.
hmm
I don't know about her personal life. I didn't even know she had a boyfriend for 6 years or 8 years or whatever it was. I'm like, I didn't even know she was dating anybody. Like, is that bad? Like, I'm like, I must not be in the loop because everybody knows, and I did not know she had a boyfriend. Because to me, she kept it really good at being quiet, you know, and so I didn't know about it. And I don't really read stuff about famous people. Like, I hate reading, so I don't really feel like I ever read anything. But Maddie and I were just talking about like it must be hard being in her situation because like one like look she has to keep her like life private because she doesn't want it to be in the public eye, especially when it comes to her dating men. And then like we were I don't know how old she is. Can you look it up? She's like what, 34, maybe 35.
33.
She's 33, so she's not like, I mean, she's getting up there, but I'm like, is she just going to be so far into her career? Like, is that going to be like her only success in life? Is like just for her, is her success just her career and singing? Because like, I think Maddie had mentioned to me, like, she does want to get married and have kids. But if she's like 33, you know, like, she was just in a relationship for 6 years. Now she's going to have to find someone else. And then she's, you know, kind of getting up there. So I'm just like when is enough and you're gonna like move on to the next success of your life? Like, does she think she needs to like sing forever, you know?
hmm
Like, I just wonder, like, celebrities, I'm just like, when?
Well, LeBron is going through that right now because, I mean, he's arguably the greatest basketball player of all time, and he's still playing at a super high level in his 20th season or whatever.
Right.
But he they won the championship back in 2020, and since then they haven't really had great performances. And after this last postseason where they got swept by the Nuggets, they lost 4-0. That's when he said, I need to rethink like my basketball career. Like,
Mm-hmm.
do I keep going from here? Do I just retire? Is it better to retire when you're still at the top or just kind of fizzle out like some
Right.
people do, right?
Because Taylor Swift's at her, like, prime, right? And she's, like, number one, you know, like,
Yeah.
having so much success, doing amazing things.
But LeBron has said he wants to play in the NBA the same time his oldest son
Yeah.
does. So that's his next vision of
Mm-hmm.
success. But now he's asking himself, do I want to keep playing?
Yeah, that's all.
Like that's a long time to be
Well,
a
I
pro
even
athlete.
think
He's still a
about,
few years
like,
out.
athletes that do multiple Olympics. Like I get if you haven't gotten a medal, like it's hard to place, to get an Olympic medal at the Olympic Games. Like it is hard to even place 1, 2, or 3 against all the other athletes, all the different countries. But like for me, I feel like if I would have made it in 2016, I would not even need to like do it again. But then it's like you look at these other Olympians that have had successful Olympics and they just like keep like they just gotta go to the next Olympics, go to the next Olympics, go to the next Olympics. So I'm like, I wonder what it's like to like achieve that or have like so many gold medals and then like what's it like doing that again, and getting more gold. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, does it feel the same? Do you feel like you accomplished more? You know what I mean? Because like that was already a huge success, making it to the Olympics, and you like took home medals. So like I wonder what drives people to be like, oh, I need to like get to the top again. I'm like, is it money? Is it like I wonder what like drives them to like or
Well,
just
I
to
think about
be
that for people that like very successful entrepreneurs, once they've made a ton of money and they're still doing it, that I'm like,
like why do
what
right? It's
drives
true. I
them?
know. Like I
Like
just
if
I'm
I
curious.
built a business and sold it for a ton of money, I'd kick back and then,
Yeah, but
just
then they
work
go and
out and play
start something
sports,
else or do a different
Yeah, and they're
business
still,
or
yeah, I
yeah, it
don't
is
know.
true. I don't know cuz like yeah, just for me, I mean, I was satisfied enough just making one Olympics. Like I'm like that is an accomplishment there. Like I don't feel like I need to go and do another one. Like I
Hmm.
mean, I could see if you didn't get an Olympic medal, like you went and then you want to go and like
But
redeem
what if
yourself.
you're still at the top of your game and
I
you could,
know, it's
so why
hard. I don't
not?
right, I know.
I feel like that's a little different from starting a business because the whole business thing, it's mostly just money. I mean, also some people enjoy it, but like an Olympic medal is more like that's pride, recognition. That's an accomplishment. Um, yeah, I can understand that. I get it.
Cuz I just like look at some Olympians that have like already been to a lot of Olympics and I'm like move on maybe like give someone else a chance. I don't but I mean it's hard because when you're that good at something, you should be able to do it and be rewarded and go and have that success. But sometimes I'm just like I don't know, the Olympics is the best of the best. There's not really much more after that.
So that's why they just keep going. I mean, if I were in that position, this is something we disagree on. I would keep going as much as I could until I
Well,
could
I
no
think that's
longer.
fine. Like there it's just like people have asked me, are you going to go for Paris? Like there could have been a chance, definitely not. I mean, for a while I maybe kind of thought about it in the back of my mind, but I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm done and now being pregnant, I'm really really sure I'm done. But again, you never know. Like look at Chelsea Memel, like she had a couple kids and still kind of made a comeback. So it's just like you never know. Like it could happen for me, even though like I feel satisfied and I feel like I accomplished what I needed to. But I mean, I get it. Like if you want to go back, go back. I just don't know if like what, because like for me, I don't really have that drive. Once I've achieved it. But then I
Hmm.
guess if I maybe wanted to go back, I'd maybe realize why. But I guess my life's just different now, so I don't really know what that decision would be.
Yeah.
But
Who are some successful people you look up to?
why don't you go first?
Um, that's a big question. I mean, there's a lot of successful people I look up to because, again, my definition of success is just achieving your goals. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I look up to my parents. I, I mean, in a lot of ways, I feel like they were successful in raising a family. We have a cool family. I like my siblings and I like my parents. I think they were successful in their careers because they both they were both lawyers and now they both do something different, more what they enjoy. I think that's cool,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Um, they have hobbies, I don't know. Like I think I was listening to a podcast the other week, so it's funny we're doing this now. And they were talking about the same thing, but the guys on the podcast were talking about success like they were like you have to be like the best of the best or like super rich or famous like But I don't know. I think.
You just said like 10 times.
Sorry, I'm trying to.
It's fine because I say it too. I just
But
was realizing it.
I
It's
don't
fine.
know. I think the 40-year-old parents that have kids and they have normal jobs and their kids are happy, I think that's success. You
Mhm.
know, they're rock stars. Like the 25-year-old med school student who's enjoying it, you know, and excited for their career. I think that's success. So there's a lot of people that I look up to. I have friends that are successful. I also have friends that are successful in different ways that I look up to because,
Mhm.
you know, so it's a hard question to answer because I have a lot
I
of
know
people in
there's like
my
a lot of,
life.
yeah, very similar. I feel like I know like when you think of that question, you like try to sit there and think of like one person that's just so successful, but I'm like that's kind of hard to choose because there's a lot of people that have inspired me in many different ways with their successes.
Hmm.
You know, so I like how you put into perspective that family based, not just work. You know, like you talked about
Yeah.
family or someone that's going through school and college and getting their degree. I don't know. I really like that you said that. Anyway, I don't know if I don't really idolize anybody like as a gymnast like yeah, Sean Johnson, you know, like that's easy. But now I don't know, like I just look up to people or listen to my friends and get advice from them and am inspired by what they do. So,
Hmm. A good example for me, as far as like that definition of successful, is so Joe Rogan.
I knew you were going to talk about him at some
Well,
point.
cause look, he has such a cool life because he just does the stuff that he enjoys.
Mhm.
He's worth so much money, and that it's not even like nothing that he does now is about the money, right? Like
Mhm.
he just has his friends and cool people on his podcast. Like people have asked him before, like how do you determine who goes on your podcast? Because there's some people that would pay so much money because it's the biggest podcast in the world, right? And he just says, "Oh, I just have my friends on and just people that I think are cool." He still commentates UFC fights, and he goes in there, he does the post
Mhm.
interviews, and the fighters are like hugging him, getting blood all over him and stuff. Like he just does cool things that
Yeah.
he
I
enjoys.
remember talking to you about that. I'm like, I didn't realize that was Joe Rogan when we watched the UFC fights.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, that's him. I'm like, why does he do that? You know, and I'm like, he makes all that money. Why does he do that? And you're like, because he just loves it. He just loves
Yeah.
doing fun things. And I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I think that's a good example of success for me. He just loves what he does, and he does a few different things, and he's a family guy, and he likes to help people. He's got a pretty open mind, and he has a good platform as far as his podcast goes. I don't know. So I think that's cool. I'd like to be in a position where I could just do stuff like that, just for fun, like commentate UFC
Mhm.
fights.
I feel like I'd be really nervous to be on his podcast. I know Jonas is like, you need to go on his podcast, but I feel like I'd be like
You
really
need to, yeah.
intimidated.
Why?
I don't
He's
know.
just a normal
What would
guy.
he ask me?
He would just if the other thing that's cool too is if you watch his podcast, he'll have super famous people on, and he won't even ask the questions that you think he's going to. They'll just talk. Like they'll just chat,
Mhm.
you
About
know.
random things that just
Yeah,
come
just
up.
just life or just
Mhm.
topics. Whereas so I mean, he'd have you on and most people would I'm sure you would share your story probably, but you'd probably talk about a lot of other things that you just wouldn't think cuz he just likes talking to people. He's just a good
Mhm.
conversationalist. Last question for you. What
Well,
areas
guys, let's get me on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, let's
End of
get you
story.
on.
No,
That'd
I'm
be
just kidding.
cool.
Okay, anyway.
What areas of your life do you want to be successful in right now? Like, what's your focus?
Well, obviously a mom.
Yep, obviously a mom.
I mean, that's the biggest focus right now. Just trying to prepare for that. And just being a good leader, a good role model, a good teacher to my kids, and just on social media, like kids are going through a really rough time right now with life, and social media is just hard. And so I just want to be that good role model and example and to inspire and to help kids get through different situations because I went through it. I've witnessed it. I've been there. And so, like, that's why it's cool, like, when I've done my firesides or public speaking, just to, like, show these kids that, like, we're going to go through these trials and we're going to be okay and we're going to get through it. So, for me, I think my biggest goals right now are just to be a mom and to just be that good example. And then just see where life takes me. And then maybe I need to work one day, find a job. I don't know. We'll see.
That's funny
Sports
because
broadcasting.
the assumption for this week is
No.
it's hard to have a real job after being an Olympian at a young age because that's the highlight of your life.
Yes, it is so true.
I guess I'd agree with that. Yeah.
I've talked about it multiple times, but like today when I was at Row Wellness or whatever, and I was packaging up packages, and like I was like, this is fun. I love this. Like I could sit there all day and print off and slap on the little labels and package it up. Like that's fun. Like I like that. I like organizing. I like I was like, I could make money. I mean, I know it's not a lot of money, but it's still fun to me. Like I was talking to the girls and I'm like, how do you guys not enjoy this? Because like even when I do my Poshmark stuff, like I hate having to like take it all to the post office, you know, like if I could have everything at home and like being in a warehouse, it's easier because you have everything right there to go. But I'm like, it's really, how do you say that word? Therapeutic or
Therapeutic.
Anyway, it's just very I can't
Therapeutic.
say.
Yeah.
Therapeutic
I know what
to
you
me
mean.
to do that because it's just fun. I just kind of get in my own zone. I don't have to like stress about life or think of other things. It's just like, Anyway, I really enjoy it. Like,
See,
I would really like a normal person job, but then everyone always is like, you say that until you do it and you're working it. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I've never done it, so it's kind of hard to say, but.
Probably true, but I don't know. I like you saying that because it's great perspective because you're an Olympic athlete, you know, peak of success as far as an athletic career goes. And you still, you know, you have fun packaging orders and you think that'd be a fun job, you know.
It's fun.
Like,
I've always wanted to know, like, I would love to work at, like, Madewell, Anthropology, Free People. Like, I love to organize. Like, I know people hate working in the clothing industry and folding clothes constantly, but, like, when I go into stores, it, like, I'm always, like, I always refold my stuff or I hang it up nicely after I try stuff on in the dressing room. Like,
I think you'd enjoy it, too, because, again, that, you know, it's not really about the money because you wouldn't make a ton of money doing that, but
it just
if
for
you
me
worked
be
at
like
a store,
to get the discounts.
Okay, you get the discounts, but also you get to talk to people. You like talking.
Yeah.
You get to help them with their shopping.
And just to like dress
you
cute,
like shopping.
show up, be around people. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you'd love it.
Yeah, I just don't have time right now, so maybe one day. It's hard because if I have to go travel for something or something comes up or I just have stuff, so it's like I just can't really have like a normal hours or.
Yeah.
I don't know what my week's going to look like, so it's hard.
Well, that's all I got.
It was pretty fun.
Anything else you want to say about success?
I don't know. You're the one that's really successful over here.
What? We just finished talking.
I did. I know, but I finished that. You like you're like right in the middle of your successes.
Hopefully, yeah, or right at the beginning. But I don't know. I mean, maybe
I'd say we've accomplished a lot at a young age for sure.
Why don't you guys listening let us know how do you define success? Let us know. We'll read the comments.
Yeah.
And like always, we're here every Friday. Thanks for watching or listening.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, give us 5 stars because we're awesome and you guys are awesome. So we'll catch you next Friday. Every Friday.
See you then.
Bye, guys.
Bye.